Okay, so today is January 10th, and today is Friday. Weekend is here. and it is 10:38 a.m. US Eastern Time. I haven't done these long videos for a while. Even if I did, it was not that long. So today I'm kind of thinking to do a long one. It's kind of cold in the house, so I'm wearing um, this flannel shirt. I really like this one. I have two of them, but anyway. I hope you all are doing great. The folks, especially, I care for you guys who come here often. So hopefully things are all going good in your life. Feel free to share things sometime on the comments, and some of you have been sharing. It's nice to know what you all are going through and how we connect with each other, because I am really so grateful for all of you, for your support. And if there is any way I can support, please let me know. So today, one thing I mainly wanted to focus on, because this is in my head for a while, and I did cover it, I think, here and there, either on the morning videos or in the shorts, but I'm realizing by talking to several of my friends about this, that this is something that is really helping a lot of people. So I figured, why not, share this concept here more and more. It's that 8 billion people in the world had 8 billion unique perspectives at one single thing. So, I end up using whatever I have in front of me. If this is a pen, maybe I'll use the cup. I don't know. That's more resonating with me. I still have Christmas cup, by the way. So actually, this might be a really good example, because if you think of it, people who grew up with Christmas, for example, they will have a totally different perspective with this cup, right? They will have lots of childhood memories, etc., attached to it. And if somebody is new to Christmas, they won't. And some might even pick a different cup. Now, for me, I didn't grow up with Christmas, but for some reason, I have been here in this country, in the US, for about 20 years. Right after a couple of years, when I was very introduced to it, not directly, just initially was just from the, I don't know, decoration and how people are all very cheerful around this time. I really liked it. So anyway, so it kind of explains how one simple thing, people can have different perspective based on their experiences in life with that thing. And let's say even if they don't have any experience with that, they would relate it with what they know. So if this is a Christmas cup and somebody didn't know anything about Christmas and they just saw the cup, they will associate with the familiarity, because our brain is wired that way, that we try to associate with what we know, right? So in this case, if somebody new have seen cups only like with a different design, flowers and things like that, they would associate it just like another cup with some flowers in it, right? They would know that it's poinsettia, I think I said it right, poinsettia, which is associated with Christmas, and there's a pine cone. So that type of thing. So from that perspective, I was thinking about something like how that can not only, this morning I was thinking about it, how this can not only close gaps and connect as people, one person with another, better. So I was thinking about this thing. So this was about 5-6 years ago. My daughter Ella, she is close to 9. The next month she'll be 9. So she was, I think, around 3-4 years old back then when this incident happened. So it was in our kitchen. it was in our kitchen. When we were cleaning the countertop, one of the glass cup fell and broke in like small pieces, like it shattered. And so at that time, Alice's dad and I, and why I say Alice's dad and I is because this is something I haven't shared before clearly in the channel, and I will share this and share what I can in the coming weeks, months about it, because this is also a journey that sometime I want to share with you all. We're getting divorced, and I lost my job, and the divorce stuff started around the same time. So I was in a really very deep, dark place, myself, my mind. From there is where I learned all the mindfulness, and there's a whole journey that I went through to get to this place. And you guys have known that for me, like I think I did a couple of interviews here and there. One job I came really close to, but what I realized in life, it's important to be fearless. And my fearless things are that I'm actually not looking for a job anymore. It's a side story. I'll cover more later in a different video. I'm not looking for a job anymore. I am starting my business, and this is actually my 8th venture. So from the last 7 venture, which was over last, I don't know, 10, 12 years, I learned a lot of things, and I am using the techniques and things that I learned from those 7 to this one. Anyway, that's a side story. I'll cover someday how I got from that loss to light, and how I am helping other people to transform their life. And seeing that is absolutely amazing. Some of my friends that I'm helping, and I believe in God, so it's not me. God is helping through me. I mean, to them. Anyway, so I'll cover that in a later time. Maybe I'll create a playlist, and you guys might have seen I started organizing the videos in a playlist, so they're not all scattered all over the place. So going back to the story, sorry for the side story, because I just wanted to explain why I'm saying Alice's dad, not my husband, because back then things were fine. Now we are in that path of getting divorced. So anyway, so Alice's dad and I, we were both in the kitchen and trying to clean the shattered glass. And Alice, being Alice, she is only 3 and 4. Of course, she doesn't understand. She kept coming to the kitchen from the dining room. And we were telling her, Alice, don't get here, because there are small shattered pieces of glass, that won't be good. And also, even if you come wearing shoes, and she was not wearing any slippers or shoes or anything. So of course we are very scared. So even if she wore the shoes, then she would walk around in the house or run around in the house, and it'll be everywhere. So she kept coming because she wanted to help and do things. And at one point, one of us said that, Alice, don't come here. And then she started crying. And something inside me, I don't know, it's the motherly instinct or whatever, kicked in. And I went to the dining room where she was. I stopped the cleaning for a little bit. I went to the dining room, and I looked at her eyes. I said, Alice, if you go there, you could hurt yourself. You could, if you step into a shattered piece, blood can come out of your feet and it's gonna hurt. Also, if you go there wearing shoes, it will be all around the house and it can hurt all of us. So she stopped the crying, and she understood, and she nodded. And I was actually surprised, because she's only 3 and 4. I didn't expect her to fully understand it, but she did. And sometimes that's the interesting thing. Kids actually understand a lot more than we think they will or they are, right? They're able to understand not only emotion, but a lot of things. So anyway, she did that, and then we cleaned the kitchen, and it was all good. So the interesting part from that was that And I still remember this experience even today because it was like 5, 6 years ago. And I was at the same time, I was I was managing a team of 100 people, and our client, government customers, they we had to move fast with their delivery and whatnot. So, and sometimes, of course, as nature of the work, you'll have to change priorities and stuff like that. And I remember that with that, I would make sure that the priorities are clear for the team to work on. But however, because we are moving so fast, sometimes either intentionally or unintentionally, I didn't remember to explain the why. And that experience with my daughter, this 3, 4 year old kid, helped me with that leadership lesson that I should be explaining it to them, like why I am telling that the priorities are different now. Okay, government client told us, and generally I tend to ask why, even if they didn't tell us why. So I need to communicate that better. And since then, every time, like, especially large projects and whatnot, because I had the experience in 3, 4 different companies where I had to lead the teams, and sometimes they reported directly to me, sometimes they had some reported to me, some had dotted line, whatever. And but I had to bring these people to work together and march towards the same goal. And I was like, I was not always explaining the why. So since then, I make sure that I always explain the why, the reason why we're doing something, and that made it better. Not only better from the perspective of what we are achieving, also from the perspective of why we are achieving that, and everybody's working towards the same goal. We are achieving more in a less time and all of that. So those are the business aspect. But then what I also realized is that ties with our family, friend, all sorts of communication, right? Because the why is something we don't tie always. We say, okay, you do this, I want you to do this, I need you to do this, I need this from you. But when we explain it, then it is the other person feels like, from their perspective, they can connect it. So I will, it's in Dale Carnegie book, the How to Make Friends and Influence People. He talks about this, that the reasons are more important than the reasons are more important than the things that we do. He says it better. I keep forgetting the actual way how it is in the book, but I will explain with an example. What I mean is, for me, why this journey was so important for me to get from that whatever situation I was in, if I said midlife crisis, to midlife happiness, by doing this mindfulness practice, community building, community connection, serving others, or whatever other different tools I have used to get to this place, is because of my inspiration, because of my daughter Alice. And I point there because I have a picture of her there. So having a reason that is bigger than ourselves. And why I say it's bigger than ourselves, in my case for Alice, the future generation. She will be inspiring a lot of other people in the future, because as parents, especially, we teach our kids, they learn by seeing than what we are telling them, right? So I'm trying to do all the things as much as possible. Nobody's perfect. As much as possible to do the things that Alice can be proud of and learn from something, right? Now, God only knows what future holds, but so I try to do all of that with explaining the why and understanding. And this understanding came, I was telling a friend the other day, this understanding came to me not from any sort of learning. This thing that I'm just going to share is that 8 billion people in the world looks at things differently. Like, there's 8 billion unique paths that people have traveled. So no two people are going to look at the same thing the same way. They're going to look at it differently. And just having that understanding can reduce so much suffering and pain. because because a lot of our suffering and pain comes from explaining or explaining a situation or what we want or what we need or what we don't want. Trying to convince other people, either their friends, family, coworker, boss, subordinate, all that, like explaining why certain thing is certain way, why I may need something from them, why I want something from them. And it is the best communication would be when we can connect, right? So anyway, so that we can only do what we can do. We can reduce our suffering, we can reduce our pain by understanding the concept that another person may never fully get it, may never fully get our thought process. um, Actually, it will be surprising if they get fully, because we have traveled a different path. So that realization came to my mind last month, with one kind of, I don't want to say incident, but with an experience. So with a lot of my friends, and thank you God for all those friends that I have in my life. Everybody's awesome. So one of my friends, she's going through lots of difficulty and challenges in life, a lot, and I am going through some, but that's life. But we all have found our own way to have some joy and happiness in between those. So, because life is not fair to anybody, right? So everybody has to deal with something. So, especially at that time, I would say that week, I was going through lots of challenges, and I wanted my friend to understand my situation, and probably she probably wanted me to understand her situation. Our situations are similar, at the same time different, but I felt like my friend was not understanding me, and for one whole day I was so sad. I was sad. I'll be honest. One whole day I was so sad. Maybe a 1.5 day. And then something just, came to my mind. And these are the things that I really like about this path, that this creates the curiosity, this creates the excitement. Because a year ago, where I was in this path versus now, I mean, some of the things that I share in this channel, when I say that things can be magical, when you can get to this place, if somebody told me last year, I would not believe that. I'll tell you, I would say they're crazy or they're lying. But because once you experience it, it's, that, how it can feel. Anyway, so then that thought came to my mind when that week I was sad. I was like, that happened. I was like, my friend is not understanding me. I'm like, nobody's supposed to understand us fully. It's just we ourselves. And if you believe in God or universe, whatever you believe in, it's between you and God, knowing that story, the path that you are in. So I was like, I don't have to explain more to my friend for her to understand what is happening, because no matter how much I explain, I cannot expect, or it will be unfair for me to expect that she will totally get every perspective of where I am. And the same thing for me, like, I cannot fully understand what she is going through in her life and everything. So that created some sort of peace in my mind, where I started looking at things differently in so many ways. And I kind of look at that why story with my daughter and how it impacted my leadership skills at work, and how this 8 billion people thinking uniquely, it goes all back to that. Like when I explained that to Alice, when I explained at my work people, and in this scenario, just having the understanding, you explain, but still they will buy into the idea when it resonates with them. Like in Alice's case, when I explained it to her, I didn't even expect that she'll understand, but she did. And then she stopped coming to the kitchen, and then we didn't have to worry about her getting hurt. And at work, when people connected with the why and the reasoning, and of course they had questions and I had to clarify them, and that's why they were connecting with it, and that helped them to keep looking at the same goal. And finally, the third part for me was that we can explain, we'll give the why, and sometimes it still may not connect with some people. Some people will ask questions and you clarify. But again, going with the thought process that not everybody will see it as the same perspective. So if I explain that this is a Christmas cup, some people will go with, yes, this is a Christmas cup. Some people will be like, yeah, it's just a cup, so what? Right? And some people will be like, oh, I would actually prefer a different kind of cup. So, and for me, when I'm communicating either with family, friends, co-workers, subordinate, whoever, to okay with it, that it is okay, because they are drawing the conclusion based on their journey, right? Based on their unique 8 billion people that have 8 billion different journeys. So that creates a lot of peace, that creates a lot of that reduces a lot of pain and suffering in our mind. So next time when you communicate with somebody, remember that, because when we are trying to not, convince other to the point that we are right, it would reduce suffering for you. Because that's what I've been applying a lot since since the thought kind of came to my mind. I'm trying to apply that, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. But the thing is, it doesn't happen overnight. If you guys have seen my videos, and since I started as a journaling channel, you'd see, especially my earlier days, the videos, if you see there and now, thank God that I have made a huge progress, because the mindfulness, more you do the mindfulness, it becomes a practice. So the other day, it was funny that I was sharing that with a friend too later. So I went for a little haircut, as you guys can probably see if you saw my other videos. And it was amazing to me as the lady, she was doing the haircut, I was being mindful at the salon. I was smelling like they had some nice smell going on in there, and then I was noticing the sound. There was some music playing, and as she was doing the haircut, I was noticing all the sounds. And most interestingly, and this is really, really interesting to me, it was at the moment. So as they do the haircut, there's a mirror on the back and the front. So she turned my chair, and then I was looking at the mirror on the other side to myself, and I had this gentle smile on my face, like that. Normally, which I'll be like that, like in the past. And it might sound a little, I don't know, like self-absorbed, but I'm going to share it anyway, because again, like the 8 billion people, it doesn't matter. I just share things, what's in my mind. So I looked at myself, and I was being grateful for things like, in the past, when I would look at myself in the mirror, I would look at the shortcomings, what how I'm not looking good in certain way or something. But that day, I was feeling grateful. I was feeling grateful, and I looked at myself so differently than I ever would. And after she did the haircut, in the past, I would look for validation from others. Is the haircut good or bad or whatever? So she did the haircut. I think this time it turned out okay, but sometimes I like it better, but this time it's good. But the point is, that day I was like, I liked it. I didn't want to get any validation from anyone. Is it good or bad? It's my hair, my opinion, right? That's what matters. My Bible study, though, yesterday, I went there last night, and then somebody said, your haircut, I like your new haircut. That was nice of her. But anyway, so the point is that, when in some way, when we stop caring about what other people are saying, that helps us grow even more, right? Um, Dan Martell, I think he says, I've been watching his videos in the recent past a lot. Um, he says these things that, especially, especially when you are starting a business, and in this case, at this time, for me, it is important. Um, be ready for a long time for people to misunderstand you, because that's part of it. Because it's like, if you say that you can touch the sky, they'll be like, no, you can't, right? That's the normal tendency to think for anybody. And I had done the same for others until, like, my and I'll be honest, I didn't do all this self discovery only in the past year. I have been learning these things over 10 years now. I don't know exactly when I started. I worked in the corporate job for 20 years, but these things, maybe, I don't know, like 12 years or something, 12, 13 years. And of course, as time went by, I went more deep and deep and deep, and I learned so much because these are the things that really excites me. So I learn. Um, yeah, so in life, especially in your midlife, which this is the main thing about this channel, like, you really know and start to understand that life is not forever, right? Life is not forever. If you were to write a letter to yourself the day after your retirement, real retirement, what would you write? What are the things that you'd write that you're glad that you got a chance to do? Also, I say another thing, that a second letter to yourself when you have that close to death experience, because that will be there someday, we just don't know when. What are the things that you'll be proud of that you tried, and what are the things there might be some regret that you wish you tried? And from there, if you look back, there is still the time from now till that near death that you can take some of those actions, so that you don't have to regret, because life is still there. So yeah, these are some of the things that over time, with mindfulness, the awareness, because when I was in the salon, I would never think that I would be so aware of the surroundings. Not only that, I was doing my affirmation and all of that. I'm like, that kind of surprised me, because what happens is it becomes a habit. More we practice these things, it becomes a habit. And now I look at life with curiosity, and more than that, with excitement. Because last year, this time versus now, life is very different. My inner world is very different. So it only makes me wonder how next year, this time, my inner world would change, because this is becoming a daily habit to focus on the present moment, to focus on how I can serve others, how I can make an impact to the world, even if it is tiny, tiny, tiny amount, So, so yeah, all of this life experience is very interesting. So go live your life, and remember the 8 billion people. We all think very differently, so don't spend your energy trying to convince others. Give the reason, give the why, and then from there, just move on to the next thing. Just move on to the next thing, because that is what will create peace in your mind. Okay, bye.